First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone while lunch is truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is senators propose potential agreement to end government shutdown. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will be today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a news article here by CBS News. And we're going to hit the key points. And it reads, it said government shutdown in sight as incentive approved funding package, sending it to the House. So right now, it's a lot of talk about the government being reopened, So right now, they saying that, they're going to release these benefits, a lot of different things that they're saying that they're going to do, but they still are waiting on a vote from the House. So right now, we know that they're going back and forth. So we seeing right now, things seem to look like it's going back to normal, but it is nothing going back the same. This is all a part of the plan. And one thing about it, a lot of people right now thinking that they're getting ready to get a sense of normalcy. They're going to get a sense of relief of things are getting ready to go back the way they were. But one thing about it, nothing is going back the same. Whether this government reopen or not, it's already been prophesied. As it is written, it shall come to pass. So the Lord already had said that this place is going to be totally destroyed. So, it don't care what devices that they use. We're not ignorant of his plan. So this is all a part of the plan. And one thing about it, going back and forth. We already knowing about the Democrats and the Republican. They can't make no type of decision. But one thing about it, we already know that they're a part of the same bird. They are part. Both of them are for the same agenda. Which in fact is total control. So right now we're seeing now that the Senate approved funding package, sending it to the House. So right now, we're gonna see how this work out. It's saying I think it was 8 Democrats that that voted on this. So let's get a little bit more of this. And this news article came out today. I think it's 11:44. Call Yahweh Shema Shai by Shem Kakodash, that 144 in there. This is spiritual. But one thing about it, we know that the Lord, he causing these things to happen. The Lord wanted to reopen it. It will reopen. Might get a sense of normalcy. And one thing about it is that we already knowing that when that said measure come, we know that all hell is going to break loose. So one thing about it, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. We'll get that in a minute too. It said, so what to know on day 41 of the government shutdown. It says here, said the incentive late Monday approved a long sought funding package that would end the government shutdown, bringing Congress one step closer to ending, said, an impasse that has gripped Washington for 41 days, said, and showed chaos across the country. Said the legislation now heads to the House for approval, so as early as Wednesday. So right here, so a lot of people are excited. They have started releasing some of these benefits. Some people have gotten their stamp benefit, in several states, and some of these states are still holding out. So one thing about it, but we know that this is a part of the plan. We already know right now that this man is using his devices, coming on, speaking sweetly with his lip, but we know that what war is in his heart. And one thing about this man is getting ready to show his countenance very soon. The devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Let's get a little bit more of this bill. Then we're going to get a few precepts. Then I have one video to bring out. Then we get a couple more precepts. Then we'll close out. It says here, the bill's final passage say in the Senate Senate was all but guaranteed after a successful vote to advance it on Sunday evening when 8 Democratic senators crossed the aisles, but the chamber worked Monday to come to an agreement to speed up the process because uh, uh, taking a series of to vote series of votes to incorporate various elements of the deal said into a single legislative package. So that's all I'm gonna get at that. I got a video to bring it out a little bit more edification, but we seeing right here that this still is no guarantee. You know, they can say right now, just like they can say peace and safety. You know, everything is fine, everything is lovely, but we already knowing that, you know, said all hell is going to break loose. We know that, you know, we right upon these things are right at the breaking point, but all of a sudden, now they're telling you that we're going to release these funds. We are going to reopen the government. It's going to be better than ever. So a lot of people likes to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Which in fact, you know what I'm saying, are these 2/3, you know, they pen and they're lean, but we already know what they're getting ready to come with is that what the MOTB. So we already know when you go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1, it said the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. You know, he's very clever, very deceptive, you know what I'm saying, deceiving, cunning. You know what I'm saying? That about that's the modern day so-called white man. So we see it right now. This is all a part of the plan. And one thing about it, they're rolling it out just like clockwork. You know, once again, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So now let's go here. Let's get it right quick. You know, it says here, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his device. So we know in the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan is the so-called white man, you know what I'm saying, which in fact is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We already know about he's trying to get that advantage. What's that advantage? That plan, his plot, his agenda, which in fact is total control. You know, that's what he's trying to come up with. We already know they got everything into place. All they have to do is implement it. So everything is ready. The stage is set. So this is all a part of the plan. And the ultimate goal is that grain of rice shall go into your right hand or into your forehead. So a lot of people right now, they're still sleeping. But while you're sleeping, the devil is constantly getting busy. It says here, for we are not ignorant of his device. Who is not ignorant of his devices? You know, it's talking about what? The men of the Lord, the prophets, the one that's in the highways and byways, the one that's making these video epistles each and every day, warning you about all these things that's getting ready to go down. You know, some people look at it and say, oh, they said it. You know, that the government was going to shut down. They said it wasn't no never reopen. Oh, I just want to go out. Now look at it. They don't open it back up. But this is all a part of the plan. You know, one thing about it, distractions, all sorts of confusion. And one thing about it, you know, and you got to be spiritual to see what's coming. And not about we're not ignorant of his devices, of his mindset, of his a plot, his scheme. You know what I'm saying? His evil plan that he's trying to put into place right before our eyes. And so right now, they still are saying that it was a proposed potential agreement, you know what I'm saying, to end the government shutdown. So right now, the government is still shut down, but a lot of people are rejoicing. Why are you rejoicing? You know, this is the quiet before the storm. So let's read this in the NLT. It said, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 said, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. Who is familiar with his evil scheme? The elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? We will not be in a fold. And one thing about it, we seeing right now, this man is constantly rolling it out. We coming to some type of decision. You know, we feel that we're going to give you this. Also, I heard a rumor that DJ Donald Trump is talking about giving out $2,000. So you already know that he's constantly setting you up for the what? For the big one. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people gonna get set up and they're gonna fall for this trap. They're gonna fall into this evil net. And which in fact, our people, they not considering. A lot of our people still think they're a good case. They still thinking that, everything would be all right. The government been helping you for years. And that's all they know. But one thing about it, you gotta trust and depend on Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So when you go to Proverbs chapter 3, I think around verse 5, it said, lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in Yahweh by Shema Shai. He will direct your step. Don't give a damn what they're talking about. We are here to help you. We're going to reopen the government. Everything is going back to normal. It's going to be better than ever. You believe that, then you're in for a rude awakening. So now, I start today's video, and after the video, we start a lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
Praying that they do. They'll need unanimous consent from all senators to fast-track their final vote. As you know, there are some procedural hurdles that one or more could throw in the way, but we certainly hope that they won't do that because so many people across this country are desperate for the government to reopen. At the very moment that they do that final vote, I will call all House members to return to Washington as quickly as possible. We'll give a 36-hour formal and official notice so that we can vote as soon as possible to pass the amended CR bill and get it to the president's desk. As you all know, and he said as recently as last night, I was with him, and he told the press, he said, we want to get the government open. He's very anxious to get the government reopened and to end the Schumer shutdown. We all are.
So now we'll go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12. Let's go there. You know what I'm saying? This man is speaking sweetly with his lips. One thing about it, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So this man right here, this is a part of the plan. It's 41 days. You know, this could have been opened up sooner. You know, we here to help the people. You know, it was the Democrat, it was the Republican. You know what I'm saying? So they are the modern day Flavian and the petition. You know what I'm saying? There's no new thing new under the sun. So right now, this is all a part of the plan. And the middle Lord constantly been warning you, and the Lord already said that this place is going to be totally destroyed. And, a lot of people, they're gullible. They don't know who they are. They don't know who their true power is. And one thing about it, they don't know what time that we're living in. You know what I'm saying? We read upon, the great day of the Lord. It's also, Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? The MOTB, the hour of temptation. These things are fast approaching. Our salvation is very close at hand. Even though, seeing this little break in action, hey, one thing about it, the Lord is causing these things to happen. The Lord is a master chess player. One thing, but we're constantly rejoicing. And one thing about it, we seeing these things happening right before our eyes, man. We're here. Let's get this right quick. Ecclesiasticus, also rock. Chapter 12 and verse 6 saying, an enemy speaking sweetly with his lips, but in his heart or in his mind, say he imagine how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. So this right here describing what straight up and down what the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, he said an enemy. So right now, this enemy right there is speaking what? Sweetly with his lips. And out of the Bible, we already know him, but in his heart or in his mind. So you go into that word heart, it goes into Allah, talking about his mind, his mindset. So imagine how to throw thee into a ditch, or throw you into a pit, Salakia. So you see right now, that's what he's getting ready to do, to throw you into that pit, but put you in that chokehold to make you a petrol slave, to give you that badge of servitude. And one thing about it, even though he's speaking sweetly, he can even cry, we're here to help you, we're sorry, we don't want the children to starve, and this and that. And a lot of our people are so goddamn gullible, which in fact are the two-thirds, they have that, what you call that Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? They love master. You know what I'm saying? We here for you, master. Yeah, we hear you. Thank you, master. We love you. You know what I'm saying? That about it. This man that comes speaking, he reeling you in for the setup. You know what I'm saying? He's getting ready, to throw you into a pit. Let's go here. It says, verse 17 said, if adversity come upon thee, which in fact we've seen that when he cut this government shutdown, a lot of people had a lot of adversity. A lot of people didn't know how they're going to feed their family. A lot of these, these furlough workers, these essential workers, they wasn't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So, this man right, he watching you a whole time. He's sitting back watching the whole play. And see here, it says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. He there first talking about they're getting ready to reopen the government. Oh, we here to help you. It's gonna be better than ever. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna build it back better. Make America great again. We're gonna issue out $2,000. You know, we sorry about that. You know, we were trying to work it out. We were trying to get a better plan for you. You know, the Lord said, you know, hey, never trust thy enemy. As iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So let's read this once again. Say, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. It said, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. So one thing about it, this man here is pretending to help you. We're going to reopen the government. We're going to give you your benefit. You and all these workers, these furlough workers, they're going to get paid back time. You know what I'm saying? No one is going to be mistreated. Everything will be fine. So one thing, but you believe that this man is undermining you and you will be totally destroyed. This is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And the Lord said, never trust thy enemy. Never. So let's go here to verse 18. Say, he will shake his hand and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. So this is what this red devil is getting ready to do. He getting ready to change his countenance very soon, even though that it seems like everything is going back to normal. Seeing like right now the storm has subsided. We seeing the sunshine, clear skies. But guess what? We get ready to come upon a time of trouble that we have never seen before. And one thing about it, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. This is what we constantly warning you about left and right. Let's go here to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah. And one thing about the Lord said it, that these things going to happen. His word will not return to him void. So let's go here to Isaiah chapter 55. Let's go here. Isaiah chapter 55. And one thing about it, you know, I'm laughing because I already knowing that this is not going to last long. I think they said it was going to last to January 26th, I think. And they said something about the stamp was going to go all the way to September. If we make it to September the 26th, because, you know, the Lord is constantly accelerating time and he constantly moving the chess pieces around. The Lord is in perfect control and the Lord is causing these things to happen. The Lord wanted the government to be reopened. You know what I'm saying? Whether we wanted it or not, but it's all a part of the will of Yahweh by Hashem Abshai. But the Lord, once again, is a master chess player and no one has beaten him yet. You know what I'm saying? He's the master. So let's go here. Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11 says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So these things are going to happen. You know, whether it looking like that, you know, but what are these prophets talking about? Why they said this was going to happen, that it's not happening right. It is going to happen. You know, we know it's going to happen because the Lord's word will not return to him void. So let's read in NLT. It says here, say it is the same with my word. So I sent it out and it always produced fruit. So it will accomplish all I want it to do, and it will prosper everywhere I send it. That's plain and simple. That's plain and simple right there. So the Lord said, always produce fruit. And one thing about the truth is being declared, and one thing about it is producing fruit left and right, abundance. You know, it's flourishing right now. You know what I'm saying? The truth that been so long without fruit, without fruit shall be declared. If we better get that, I'm bushing it. But one thing about it, we seeing right now that the Lord's word will not turn to him void. As it is written, it shall come to pass. So we are here. These things are happening at a fast pace. So let's go here to Ezekiel. Let's get here because we constantly been warning you about these things. Whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. We'll close out here. Let's go here to Ezekiel chapter 3. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3. And also you go to Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. We bring that out all the time. That's right there. That scripture right there. And Habakkuk, you know what I'm saying? Habakkuk 2 and 3, it's going hard right now. You know, at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, it shall surely come. So that's what exactly, even though you might see it, it's not coming, what's wrong, why, it's going to come. Let's go here to Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 7, because we constantly been warning you about these things left and right. Ezekiel chapter 3 in verse 17, it said, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Said, therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning for me. And out about it, the Lord wants us to warn you because we are the mouthpiece of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We're not speaking our own words. We're speaking the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, the one that sent us. And one thing about we've been his ambassador, warning you what's happening, where it looked like it's not going to happen, whether it looked like everything will go back to normal, or you might think that America is going to go on for whatever long period of time. So a lot of people right now, they have a strong delusion, think that this place is going to be fixed, but we will have healed Babylon, but it will not be fixed. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to destroy this place. That's what we're constantly worrying about. And a lot of people, they don't want to hear that doom and gloom. The prophets of doom. But one thing about it, we don't give a damn. So let's read this right here. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17 in the NLT says, Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Said, whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately. That's exactly what we warn you about. Rumors of war, Jacob's trouble, pestilence, famine, a great economic collapse. The list go on and on. It's what we constantly warn you about. Don't trust this man. This man is getting ready to come with this universal basic income. He already talking about, there's rumors floating around that he's getting ready to send out $2,000 checks. You know what I'm saying? Everything would be fine. Everything would be all right. He's speaking, enemy speaking sweetly with his lips. I should have maybe named the title of that, but that's a nice title too. But we're seeing right now that the Lord has set up watchmen to warn you of all these impending dangers. What the prophets, the one that's in the highways and byways, the one that's making these video pistol, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear, it really does not matter. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're constantly bringing these things. We're seeing that the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. The way you look at things, the Lord don't look at these things. The Lord's words, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Oh man, I thought that, the government wasn't going to reopen again. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying that it's not going to open up again. They're going to bring martial law. They're going to do this. They're going to do it. It's going to happen, but on what? The Lord's time, not on our time. The Lord already told us all we got to do is follow the script, prophesy it, say before, and the Lord is what is going to do the rest. Let's drop down here to verse 20. This last scripture. Let's get this here, and we're going to close out. Let's go here. Verse 27. We'll close out here. It says, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 27 said, but when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, thus said the Lord power. He that hears, let him hear, and he that forbears, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. So right now, that's where we at right now. So a lot of our people are still rebellious. A lot of our people are still, saying, I don't believe this. I don't believe that. I believe the government is going to open up. I think that it's going to be better than ever. You're in for a rude awakening. You will be totally destroyed. Let's read the NLT and we'll close out. He said, but when I give you a message, I will loosen your tongue and let you speak. Then you will say to them, said, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Said, those who choose to listen will listen, but those who refuse will refuse, for they are rebels. Who are the rebels? You know what I'm saying? The 2/3. The Lord is going to come back. He's only coming back for the election, which in fact is the house of David, the Israel of the Most High. That's what the Lord is dealing with right now. So the one is concerned about what's going on with these benefits, Section 8, food stamps, these government subsidies, these assistance, which in fact these 2/3, because they what? They lean, they depend, they trust, you know what I'm saying, in this system, and they will be totally destroyed. And that's what we constantly seeing left and right. So a lot of people right now, they saying that things are going back to normal. We're seeing that, we're out of this rough little a raining season. But one thing about it, we know that all hell is going to break loose. This is the quiet before the storm. And also we know that this is a part of the plan all of the time. So we're not ignorant of Satan devices. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is Senators Propose Potential Agreement to End Government Shutdown. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.